Hey everybody, Tim here, and wow, do we have a fantastic show for you tonight here at the Pub Trivia Experience. I am back hosting for the first time in a while. I've been away doing Frenemy Trivia, and we have done many formats here on the Pub Trivia Experience. We've done hot seat games, we've done themed tournaments, but tonight we're going back to some old-fashioned 2-on-2 trivia. But it's not just any trivia, it's our 2023 Year in Review game. That's right, we have a game written only about the events that have happened in the marathon that is 2023. And joining us for this evening are four incredible quizzers who will be facing off in this game. So let's meet them. First, we head to Huntsville, Alabama. Mike Mott, how you doing and what you drinking?
Tim, I'm doing really well. I'm glad that you specified which year it is because I'm at the age when they're all starting to blend together a little bit. Not to mention having two young kids. Everything's a little bit of a blur, but hopefully I have followed events enough to be able to be somewhat useful here within the context of my team. Tonight, as far as beverages go, I grabbed a little beer from the Duclaw Brewing Company out of Baltimore, Maryland. Little behind the scenes here. Yesterday was Christmas, so of course, naturally, I had the Sweet Baby Jesus from Duclaw yesterday. But today, I don't have any more of those, but today I do have the Hop Tarts Strawberry Banana Milkshake IPA. It's a little unseasonably warm here. It's, high 50s, so not super warm, but warm enough that I feel like I can indulge myself with a nice IPA, so... Cheers, everybody.
That sounds like a fun beer there.
Delicious.
Very nice. Next, we head to Chicago, Illinois, where the newest member of the PTE podcast, Jeremy Goodson, awaits. Jeremy, how you doing and what you drinking?
I am doing good. Coming out of the holidays here and looking forward to some trivia. What am I drinking though? So and my father-in-law got me this for Christmas. He always picks out a bottle of whiskey for us to split every year. So he took half and I've got the other half, and it's a small batch 1792. I'm looking for a branding, which scares me a little bit. It is from the distilled and bottled by Barton 1792 Distillery, Bardstown, Kentucky. So we'll see. Test this out. Oh, that is strong. All right.
Jeff and I have been to that distillery.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. So then you know exactly what this is.
Oh, yes.
One of Mike's friends snuck a bottle of 1792 onto a bus, and we all just drank it the rest of the way through that tour.
That was a fun tour. I almost remember most of it.
Well, cheers. Let's give this a try.
Cheers.
Oh, that's actually pretty smooth. Not bad. A little bit on the back end, but...
Very nice. Well, we're glad to have you. Our third player tonight is our dear friend, Jeff Woodhead from Raleigh, North Carolina. Jeff, buddy, how you doing and what you drinking?
I'm doing great. I received the best Christmas present anyone could possibly have, which is 5 days without the kids. I am currently drinking a chocolate orange stout from the Stewhead Brewery, which is basically just my kitchen. It's aged quite nicely after about a month and a half in the kegs, so it was a little bit young last time I had it. I can't remember if I've had this particular one on podcast yet, but this is turning out quite nicely. It's a little smooth. I threw some lactose in there to give it a little bit of a milky flavor. It's a nice little beer.
Sounds good. One of these days, I'm going to have to drive up and visit the Stewhead Brewery.
Yeah, you're not that far away. It's about an hour for you. So
hour and a half, something like that.
All right.
Before we get to our final guest, I'm going to open my beer. I am drinking from New Belgium, the Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA.
On brand.
And Voodoo Ranger has yet to have anything bad that I think maybe the Fruit Force IPA I wasn't a big fan of. The Fruit Punch version wasn't the greatest, but our final guest also from the Chicago area, Jeff Bim joins us. Jeff, how you doing? What you drinking? And I believe you have a special announcement for us.
I do. I've been doing good. It's tiring having Christmas with two little guys running around. And then the day after Christmas with the two guys running around with like 400 extra toys. That's always a good time. So I'm relaxing tonight with I got Brewdog Elvis juice, which is a remainder from something I did a little earlier, but there we go. It's a grapefruit IPA that I was a very big fan of. It's delicious. I'm going to drink it right now. It continues to be good. And as for the announcement, starting in February, I believe the first Wednesday in February, I will be the newest host of a newest show on the PTE Network. My show is called Draught Daze. It's spelled the dumbest way possible. It's like the British way of spelling draft, D-R-A-U-G-H-T, and daze is D-A-Z-E. It's a beer pun. And on my show, we play fantasy sports, where I have 4 panelists come on, and we all act as coaches of our own fantasy teams, and we draft teams of whatever we feel like. So, for example, the very first episode is we drafted TV sitcoms. And, I'm keep some secrets in the back pocket for a little bit, but the idea is we draft the same way that you would when playing a regular fantasy sport, where everybody gets randomly assigned an order, and we duke it out to try and figure out who's going to be the number 1 draft pick and get a better team than everybody else. And then the second episode for each draft, we score the teams based on made up statistics and metrics that I made up. Basically, it's just a dumb way to figure out who won and make fun of whoever lost. It's a good time.
It is.
Yeah, I know I'm on one of the episodes. I'm very excited to hear that show come to our network. So be on the lookout for Draught Daze, DRAUGHTDAZE, coming to the PTE Network in February. So we are excited to have Jeff not only on this episode, but joining the network. I think I can speak to everybody here, speak for everybody here when I say that. And when I say welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So this is how the game tonight is going to work. I have 20 questions worth 10 points apiece. After 10 questions, we'll have a halftime round. And at the end of the 20th question, we'll have our wager round. Teams can wager up to 25 points on each question, but they don't have to wager anything and cannot exceed their total coming in. Do we have any questions before we get started?
Nope. Let's do it.
Okay, as a reminder, all of these questions are coming from the year 2023. So we're going to start off with question 1. I didn't write any fancy clue categories for this. We're just your category is question 1.
There's a clue there, Mike. Let's
January.
make sure we follow
It's
it.
January.
It is January. So
That was so long ago, though.
in January of this year, question 1, in January of this year, Prince Harry published his memoir about growing up in the royal family. What was that memoir? Oh, let's back up. Our game tonight is going to be Jeffy and Jeremy taking on Jeff and Mike in some good old-fashioned 2v2 trivia. So we're going to do our questions, and you're going to be able to lock in, and the other team can talk it out. So we're going to jump in with question 1. And like I said, I didn't write any fancy categories for this. Your category is just question 1. In January of this year, Prince Harry published his memoir about growing up in the royal family. What was this memoir titled?
Locked in.
Jeffy and Jeremy are locked in. Jeff and Mike, you can talk it out.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you said the category was question 1, I felt pretty confident about this one.
Well, let's be honest. It was actually kind of a very no frills sort of category. It was a little bit spare, if you will.
It's a good way to describe it. Agreed. But yes, we locked in with spare.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeff and Mike locked in with spare. Jeremy and Jeffy, what did you lock in with?
We also, both at the same time, typed to each other the word spare.
Okay. Well, both teams locked in with spare, and it is a reference to the old adage, an heir and a spare. Prince Henry's memoir was titled Spare. Both teams picking up 10 points on that one as we head to question number 2.
Picked up 10 points on 2 balls.
Yeah, 10 points on 2. I mean, it could have been a strike too. You know.
I like when the puns write themselves. It makes Brittany angry because she likes to write the puns. But
well, Jeremy, it was 2023. There might be a strike in some later questions here.
This is true.
I can almost assure you there is.
Right. All I'm going to say is spare seems so long ago. I cannot believe it was this year.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to talk about something that I can't believe was this year, but is not part of this quiz? I didn't realize that the Chinese spy balloon was in 2023.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, really.
Wow.
That does feel like forever ago.
It does.
Spoiler alert, there's no questions about the Chinese spy balloon, but that was something I realized as I was researching this.
Wow.
Question number 2. McDonald's opened what out-of-this-world spin-off restaurant in Bolingbrook, Illinois in December? The new chain is an attempt to take on Starbucks, but also features customizable drinks such as lemonades and slushes.
We're locked in.
Jeff and Jeremy are locked in already.
I feel like this is
Jeff
a
and
little
Mike?
bit unfair
Yeah, this
here.
is almost
the
not
other team
fair because
is
it's
literally
local news.
from
It's
Chicago.
in our backyard.
Right.
They've probably been there.
I haven't yet.
No,
I haven't yet. But
supposedly lines are still around the building.
yeah,
and it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Seriously, good
Ah.
lord.
Jeff, I read about this not long ago, and I am just absolutely drawing a blank as to what it was called.
I have no idea. So, I mean, out
It's
of this
got
world is
Mac in
clearly a clue. So it's what are you going to call it? Astro Cafe? I don't know.
It's got Mac in it. I'm pretty sure because it's so we can pull on that thread if you want.
Planet.
Mech Planet, right? Oh man, yeah. No,
If it's really taken after Starbucks, we can call it McShitty Coffee.
Right.
Starbucks, not a sponsor, but could be.
That's right. That's right. Oh, we'd take their money. We would just still shit on their coffee. Starbucks, the coffee the people at the PTE Network don't want you to drink. Jeff, I don't know if you have anything. I know this, and as soon as I hear it, I'm gonna smack myself.
I've got nothing. I don't know this and will not slap my head when I hear it because I have never heard of this concept before. So
I read an article, but my retention is shot these days, unfortunately, about things that I don't care about, and fast food is one of them.
Yeah, Nick Astro.
Astromac sounds good to me.
Astromac. Let's go with it.
Sure.
All right. Jeff and Mike lock in with Astromac. This is not R2D2.
I was waiting for that.
Jeremy and Jeffy, what did you lock in with?
Yeah, we were kind of meeting on this. It's been on local news like crazy because literally there's like a 4-hour wait. It's a drive-through only, and it's like a 4-hour wait, and it is literally a McDonald's take on like a Starbucks and a boba tea shop.
It just hit me.
Yeah, there you go. I said I feel kind of bad. Jeffy said he doesn't, and lol, fuck him. So I will say that no, it's been all over local news. It's really, I don't like their logo at all. It looks stupid. Like, I don't know, like they could have done better. It's McDonald's. You have like billions of dollars for marketing to come up with something called Cosmix.
Yep.
Which is COSMCS.
That's dumb.
It hit me as soon as you started talking. I don't know why. But damn it.
I don't know the reference,
That's
but apparently
dumb.
it's based off of an old McDonaldland character that I'm not
Yes.
familiar with. I only know Mayor McCheese and Big Mac, the sheriff,
Yeah.
from that one episode of Clerks Animated.
Jeffy goes ahead and steals my flavor text. It is based off an old McDonaldland character named Cosmic, COSMC. And it sounds kind of interesting. Like, I'd try it. if I didn't have to wait 4 hours and drive to Chicago for it. Question number 3. On August 10th, companies Cruise and Waymo, owned respectively by General Motors and Google, were granted authorization to operate ride-sharing services 24/7 in San Francisco. What separates Cruise and Waymo from other ride-sharing services such as Uber and Lyft?
And we're locked in.
All right, Jeremy and Jeff, you are locked in. Jeff and Mike, go ahead and talk this out.
Yeah, I think this is just a matter of time because I think we're both coming to the same answer here.
Yeah, I think the fact that they needed permission seems like it points to that as well. About Jeff texted me, said I think it's that they don't have any drivers, and I think that makes the most logical sense that they'd be self-driving cars.
Right, I'm reasonably certain that Waymo is Google's self-driving car division.
Right,
I had thought they were actually fairly behind on that, but as much of a skeptic of self-driving cars at the moment as I am. I think this is the correct answer. Self-driving.
Yep.
Okay. And Jeff and Mike are locked in with self-driving cars. Jeremy and Jeffy, what did you say?
Yeah, it's kind of the same thought process. I remember hearing this, and then the Waymo thing kind of rang the bell more than anything, because I'm pretty sure that was Google's big self-driving car test and all that. I believe they call them robo-taxis. I remember reading an article about this a few months ago. And that's why I was thinking San Francisco, because I remember reading it because it's in Silicon Valley area where they're pushing it out. And so we said self-driving cars are robo-taxis.
Yeah. So both of these companies, these ride-sharing services are autonomous. So both teams are going to get the credit on that one.
Why would you name it robo taxis
when Johnny Cab is available?
I was thinking Johnny Cab. That's what I was thinking.
Robo taxi sounds like the sort of thing that's coming from a science fiction movie where the taxis become sentient and attack people. It would be like saying the robo taxis are powered by Skynet.
Exactly.
No, they're powered by early to mid 2000s Apple Maps that was putting people in the middle of the lake.
Says turn right, Dwight.
It's all MapQuest all the way down.
Right. I'm in the lake because of Google Maps.
So with a score of 30-20, Jeremy and Jeffy are getting that one correct as we move to question 4. Not to be confused with the Lady Gaga hit of the same name, Poker Face was developed in early 2023 for the streaming service Peacock. Give me both the name of the creator of the show and the name of the actress who stars as Charlie Cale.
All right, I think we're locked in.
Eventually, Jeremy and Jeffy will not lock in first, but they have here. So let's hear from Jeff and Mike.
Yeah, Jeff, this was all you.
I think I had heard about this show before, and that it was Ryan Johnson's attempt to do a fun detective show, and I'm reasonably certain that it's Natasha Lyonne. Or Lyonne, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Natasha Lyonne. I feel like I knew she was in something this year, but I didn't know what.
Yeah, and so we're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with Natasha Lyonne as the actress and Ryan Johnson as the creator.
Okay, Jeff and Mike are locking in with Ryan Johnson and Natasha Lyonne. Jeremy and Jeffy, what did you say here?
We said exactly the same thing. We got I said Natasha Lyonne was the actress, and Jeremy filled in the gaps with Ryan Johnson as the creator.
Yeah, we had the half and half because I'm like, oh, that's Ryan Johnson's show, and then you asked for the creator. I'm like, cool. And then you're like, and the actress. I'm like, I have no idea.
She's the girl in all the Old Navy commercials now. She was in American Pie. She was in Orange is the New Black, and then she did little stuff for a decade, and now she's everywhere again.
Well, Russian Doll is the one I mostly know her from. I guess.
Which one?
Russian Doll.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about Russian Doll.
Yeah. It's I watched a couple episodes of it. It's really fun. I think my wife's watched more of it than I have, and has recommended it to me. So maybe when I get time to just watch TV on my own, I'll binge it.
Both teams locking in with Ryan Johnson and Natasha Lyonne. Both teams are getting points here. It is Ryan Johnson and Natasha Lyonne. I've heard this show compared to a modern day Columbo. Is kind of the vein in which this show operates. So
I need to check that out. My grandpa used to be obsessed with Columbo. And so as a kid, I used to watch it all the time, watch it with him. And like now even you've piqued my interest more.
Yeah.
Just one more thing, Jeremy.
Is she like able? I don't remember. Is she like able to look at someone and tell when they're lying? Is that the whole reason why it's called poker face? Like, she can tell?
Something along those lines, and like she's running from the mob or something. It really sounds like a fun as hell show.
Yeah, because I was gonna say it reminds me a lot of Lie to Me. If you guys remember that show with Tim Roth,
yeah.
I loved that show.
Yeah, I remember that one back in the day.
Oh, I have to get Peacock and check it out.
Not to jinx it, but Jeremy and Jeffy, you are pitching a perfect game through 4.
Don't say it out loud. Come on.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you for
Say
saying
it lots.
Fucking
Remind us again in about 5 seconds.
Jinxing it makes it more competitive, so we'll see how this goes. Question number 5. While much of the news focused on the conflicts in Ukraine and Gaza, what former Soviet republic seized the Armenian enclave of What former Soviet republic seized the Armenian enclave of Nagorno-Karabakh? The move forced more than 100,000 Armenians to flee the territory.
We're locked in.
Yep.
Jeff and Mike are locked in. So Jeremy and Jeffy, you can actually talk this one out.
God, you had to talk about a perfect game. God damn it.
I know I've heard this. Like God, this is gonna suck.
Yeah, my immediate thought was Belarus, because during the same time period, it was always Russia and Ukraine, and then also Belarus is like, we're here and we're also causing trouble. But I don't remember exactly what they were doing, if they were just aiding Russia or if they were doing other stuff.
The one that came to mind for me, and it was like one of those, it popped into my head, and if I had to just go, I would say it, but I don't know. Is Azerbaijan a former Soviet?
I believe it is. I'm pretty sure. I might be misthinking of where it's at.
I know it's over there. I just don't know if it's,
because if I remember correctly, the USSR stretched all the way down to like the top of the Arabian Peninsula area, and like over. I might be completely talking them out of.
I mean, I'm okay going with Belarus because you have more thunder on it. I just, for some strange reason, that popped into my head.
Don't mistake me saying the name out loud for thunder, because I have no confidence in myself whatsoever.
I mean, like I said, that just popped in my head. I have no thunder, so it's just one of those. I feel like it scratched something, but it could have been that they were part of a conflict at the same time or around the same time. So I don't have anything. So I'll leave it up to you.
Oh, don't leave it up to me. I hate making decisions. it's like a theme on my show, like a choice paralysis. I hate it. Well, so here's what I'm gonna do. I suck at a lot of stuff, and Jeremy has a really good track record of winning things. So I'm gonna go with Jeremy's Azerbaijan over Belarus, and then it'll be on him and not on me.
All right.
The real reason.
Damn it.
It's hard.
Jeffy and Jeremy lock in with
Damn it,
Azerbaijan.
I really thought they were going to miss that one.
Yeah.
Did we get it?
I
Yes,
did
you got
it
it.
because
Yes.
Damn it,
I
Jeremy.
literally
I can't even take credit for it now. Damn
I
it.
hear Jeremy go, so I have no thunder behind this, and I texted Jeff and I said, and here's where Jeremy pulls one out of his ass like normal.
Like I said, I read a lot of news. And it was just one of those. It's like, I don't know, that scratched an itch, but it could have been something else at the same time, because that's not a conflict I've followed.
Right.
I thought it's obviously not, because if it's next door neighbors with Armenia, then it's not where I thought it was. But I thought that was one of the territories on the eastern part of Russia, like the Kazakhstan and Tajikistan, like over in that.
It's not quite there. It's on the other side of the Caspian Sea.
Oh, gotcha.
Armenia and Azerbaijan have that thing where there's like enclaves of both.
Oh, yeah. You're right. You're right.
I'm
really
notoriously bad with geography, so don't ask me where it's at. It's just over there somewhere.
But just to be official, Jeff and Mike, you said
We
Azerbaijan,
also,
yes.
we also
okay. And yes, this is Azerbaijan. It kind of got overshadowed because as all of that was going on, about a month later, the whole Gaza Israel thing popped off again, so it's kind of been overshadowed.
Right.
But Azerbaijan is not doing good things over there with the Armenians.
For sure. Sure. That was just about as ethnic cleansing-y as an ethnic cleansing as you can get.
In Armenia? What?
Yeah.
Whatever happens over there?
Specifically, this is a part of Armenia. It's an enclave within Azerbaijan. So we've reached question 6, and it is Jeremy and Jeffy with 50. Jeff and Mike have only missed one. It's 50-40. Question 6, we wouldn't be able to talk about a year in review without talking about some of the notable deaths of the year. Among those notable deaths were Matthew Perry, Tina Turner, Sinead O'Connor, and Andre Braugher. Additionally, 2 figures central to the state of Ohio passed away. One, a former mayor who died in April, and the other in May, who shares his name with the franchise he spent all 9 years of his career with. I need both first and last names.
We're locked in.
Jeffy and Jeremy are locked in.
I love how I'm typing. Sorry, I'm for this. I was typing. I hadn't even put it. He goes, yep, and said it ahead of me.
Jeff and Mike, you can talk this one out.
Can I get a repeat of the second half of the question? I didn't think you were going to ask for both, so since I was pretty sure I had the first one.
One is a former mayor who died in April, and the other in May, who shares his name with the franchise he spent all 9 years of his career with. And I need both first and last names.
Okay.
So the second one's something sports. The first one, you're right. It's Jerry Springer.
Jerry Springer, yeah. Which is another, I can't believe that was 2023. That feels longer ago.
I thought that was like 2 or 3 years ago.
So did I. Yeah.
Yeah, trying to think of like what other
shares a name with the franchise.
He spent all 9 years of his career with. Jim Brown.
Oh, that makes sense. Oh yeah, Jim Brown. He did die this year.
Yeah. Okay. So then there you go. It's Jerry Springer.
Perfect. Oh yeah, perfect. That's exactly who it is.
Jeff and Mike lock in with Jerry Springer and Jim Brown. Jeremy and Jeffy. What did Jeremy come up with here?
We did another Transformers thing where as soon as you started talking about Ohio, my first thought, I jumped to Jim Brown, and then as I was typing Jim Brown, he typed Jerry Springer. So
I should say I was typing Jerry Springer. And he goes, "Yep," and I'm like, "Okay."
The yep was when Tim said shares a name with the football. I was like, "Oh, that's for sure Jim Brown."
Oh, it was just perfect timing. I'm like, "Damn, I'm not even done yet."
Yeah. Take care of yourselves and each other. Jerry Springer and Jim Brown.
Both teams lock in with Jerry Springer and Jim Brown. And yeah, I always like to refer to Jerry Springer as the former mayor of Cincinnati and nothing else.
Right.
And then Cleveland Browns legend Jim Brown passed away just a month later.
I was sitting here going, somebody Cavalier? Was somebody nicknamed Blue Jacket? Like I was for some reason every other
George
sport.
Bengal.
I mean, red would be possible.
Yeah, it's true.
Albert Crew.
Oh man.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Jim Guardians.
I if I had written categories, that one would have just been called "They Will Be Missed," as a little nod to the Hollywood Babylon podcast. But we had to question 7. Tattoo, performed by Loreen, won the 2023 Eurovision Song Contest for what country? This was Loreen's second win following 2012's Euphoria and the 7th win for the country, tying Ireland for the most victories. I found something that teams don't immediately know.
Tim, weird question, but can you spell the name?
Sure, it's Loreen, Loreen.
Okay. That's what I thought I heard, but I was just making sure.
Yeah, I think we can lock in.
Jeremy and Jeffy locking in. Jeff and Mike, go ahead and talk that one out.
Yeah, we had nothing on this one.
The only winner of Eurovision I can name is ABBA.
Right, yeah, which makes you think, okay, Sweden actually decent shot at it because we know they've won it before.
That is true. That is true. And yeah, you're right. I was, even though I kind of threw out, Netherlands ? I was kind of in, maybe drifting further north to Scandinavia too.
Yeah. I would think Sweden,
Yeah.
Finland. I feel like the name would be weirder.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have anything to go on.
Let's just go with Sweden. Fuck it.
You want to say Sweden? I'm cool with Sweden.
Jeff and Mike lock in with Sweden. Jeremy and Jeffy, what did you lock in with?
I'm really mad at myself right now because the first thing that popped in my head was Ukraine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think it is Ukraine, like that. So I typed it out to Jeff, and then we're like, should we lock in? I'm like, I don't have a ton of thunder because I know they won, but it might have been last year, and I think it was last year because as soon as you said Sweden, I think Sweden won this year, and now I feel really bad. Sorry, Jeff, but we went Ukraine.
That's okay.
All right. So Jeremy and Jeffy lock in with Ukraine. Jeff and Mike lock in with Sweden. Yeah. Ukraine, I believe, did win in 2022. And they had to move it because of obvious reasons. So that this year, I think it was held in the UK. But next year it will be held in the winner's home country of Sweden.
Oh, I was hoping.
Damn, I know.
I was trying to edit.
I'm like, no, I was like, I after they said Sweden, I'm like, oh, we should have waited, but I was like, yeah, it's Ukraine. I'm like, oh, that might have been last year. But yeah,
the two things I really know about Eurovision is what Mike said about ABBA, and then also the Numa Numa song was a Eurovision contender. That's Drago Stadium T, I think is how you're supposed to say it, but the Numa Numa song was a Eurovision song. And then Epic Sax Guys, I think.
I know.
But that's about it.
So now both teams have missed one question. We have a tie at 60-60. The perfect game is over. And therefore, no more jinxes.
See, we can pull things out of our ass too, damn it.
Yeah, right.
I love, like, here's the best part. Like, I hear him going, I don't know, let's just go Sweden because we don't know. And it was like, no, that's absolutely right. And
Question number 8. Commander Reed Wiseman, Mission Specialist Jeremy Hansen, Flight Engineer Christina Koch, and Pilot Victor J. Glover were tabbed as the crew for the second mission in what NASA lunar exploration program? Their mission will mark the first manned mission beyond low Earth orbit since Apollo 17 in 1972.
Yeah, we'll lock in.
Yep.
Jeff and Mike are locked in. Jeremy and Jeffy, go ahead and talk this one out.
Just a quick clarification. Did you need just the mission name or its number as well?
I already clarified that it's the second mission.
I was already typing.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Okay. Then we were at the same point too. I think we could safely say this is the Artemis 2.
All right. Jeremy and Jeffy lock in with Artemis. Jeff and Mike, what did you say?
Yeah, Artemis being the title of an Andy Weir novel.
Yes, it is.
Was scratching
Grumble,
a little bit
crumble, McFucking grumble.
It was a little bit triggering a little bit to Jeff. But yes, we also locked in with Artemis.
Well, when they go backspace, you go up on the Atwood, okay?
Hey. And shout out to Christina Koch, fellow Wolfpack. Go NC State.
Both teams locking in with Artemis, and both teams are absolutely correct here. They will be going up on Artemis 2. I think Artemis 2 is meant to just be a circle the moon mission. Is Artemis 3 meant to be the next landing?
3 is going to land, yes.
Yeah, at the south pole of the moon.
Yeah, they want to land they actually want to land, I think, on the dark side.
Yeah, that's what. From what I remember, they're trying to see if they could find water for fuel, to make it like a gas station.
They could potentially find Roger Waters on the dark side.
Yeah. But
you beat me to the Pink Floyd joke.
But Roger Waters, according to Roger Waters, there is no dark side of the moon. It's all dark.
As a matter of fact, it's all dark.
As a matter of fact, it's all dark.
Unrelated or somewhat related, I believe that this year India became just the 4th country to land a craft on the moon.
Yep.
So they did land at the South Pole.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was an unmanned mission, but
maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. I probably.
I was just reading about this in National Geographic literally 3 days ago. And I think they mapped out the landing site. It was kind of like right on the line between the light side and the dark side. And
Cool.
That is very cool. And if there was anybody on this podcast who I would guess read National Geographic, it would be Jeff.
Well, but in a way that also kind of counts as the Huntsville themed question.
Fair.
Question number 9. We mentioned that we were probably going to be talking about strikes. Both the Writers Guild of America and SAG-AFTRA went on strike this summer. The WGA strike lasted 148 days, while SAG-AFTRA strike lasted 118. Both unions were in a labor dispute against the AMPTP. What does AMPTP stand for?
AMPTP.
AMPTP.
We can lock in.
Jeremy and Jeffy lock in. Jeff and Mike, talk this out.
Yeah,
I think we were kind of both trying to type it out and make sure the acronym worked.
Yeah.
Association of Motion Picture and Television Producers, AMPTP. Okay.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. I knew it was. Yeah, I knew it was motion picture something. Yeah.
Yeah, Association of Motion Picture and Television Producers.
Yep.
Okay, so that's what you're locking in with?
Yes.
All right. Jeffy and Jeremy, what did you lock in with?
Well, if it's association, I feel like I might be wrong, but I put Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers.
All right. So one team says the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, and one team says the Association of Motion Picture and Television Producers. Unfortunately, it is the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. So unfortunately for Jeff and Mike, they will not get credit on that one. Jeremy and Jeffy are going to pick up 10 points, and we head to our final question of the first half. Jeremy and Jeffy have 80. Jeff and Mike have 70. In April, Justin Jones and Justin Pearson were expelled from the State House of Representatives following a protest on the House floor calling for gun reform. Both members were reappointed to their positions as representatives in what state?
And we're locked in.
Jeffy is locked in for Jeremy and Jeffy. Jeff and Mike, what do you go ahead and talk this one out?
Well, this is actually kind of the regional specific question for us, at least a little bit.
True.
Right?
Absolutely.
They're from Tennessee, so it's neighbors, both of our states, at least. So,
exactly. But yeah, Tennessee is what we locked in with.
Yeah.
All right. And Jeremy and Jeffy, what did you say?
We also locked in with Tennessee.
Yeah, I was keeping quiet when you were complaining about the Chicago question because I knew Tennessee was coming up later. This is Tennessee, and both were reappointed. Worth noting that there was a third member of that protest who I can't imagine why she was not expelled from Congress.
I wonder why that happened.
Right. But we head to our halftime round with the score of 90 for Jeremy and Jeffy. Jeff and Mike have 80. It's a close game and still can go any way. Our halftime round is the same question as last year's halftime round. As of time of recording, name the top 10 theatrical releases by domestic box office gross for 2 points each. These are based off Box Office Mojo's numbers and only for releases in 2023. And while the teams come up with their answers, we're going to take a quick break for some ads.
Hey there, PTE Network listeners. Do you like fantasy sports? Pouring over stats and trash talking your league as you take home the trophy? Do you dislike fantasy sports? Have no idea what PPR is and prefer to keep it that way? No matter how you answered those questions, this podcast is just for you. On Draught Daze, we play fantasy sports, just without the sports. Instead of drafting athletes, we draft anything. Fictional dogs? Sure. New metal bands? Absolutely. Breakfast cereal? Why not? Everything is up for grabs as we try to build the best fantasy teams possible. The best part? I made up a bunch of rules that allow us to score points, so someone gets to walk away the winner. Listen along as my guests and I have a few drinks and have a lot of fun building fantasy teams out of whatever we feel like. Starting this February, you can join me, your old pal Jeffy Donuts, every Wednesday for new episodes of Draught Daze. That's DRAUGHTDAZE. It's a pun. It's a beer pun.
So you'll get 2 points for every correct answer.
Now, Tim, as a point of clarification, do they had to have been released in the year 2023?
All of these are released in 2023.
Gotcha.
Okay, I think we have our 10.
All right, Jeremy and Jeffy are locked in. Jeff and Mike, go ahead and talk this out.
I think we got 9 of them.
Yeah, we got 9, and none of the other movies that we've thrown out, we've kind of rejected them all.
Right. Yeah, I don't think we've gotten to the point where. So I thought there were 4 non-franchise ones.
Right.
I know we have 3 of them. I think you might be right about my thought about the 4th one. I guess I thought I had rejected that one because it was video gamey, and there was another one that I'm just missing. But maybe.
Right.
All right. Let's go through the various franchises here. If they're locked in, I guess we can actually say the names of movies now.
Right.
So
yep.
I know we've got Marvel. I know we've got DC. What big DC movies came out? I don't think we have a DC one on the list.
Right, but Aquaman 2 only just came out. I don't think it's
I know.
done well enough to be on the list already.
It could make it to 10 just on the service of 1 or 2 big weekends, right?
And that's true, but I know very few people who have seen it. I mean, I just feel like I haven't heard any buzz around it, and most of what I have has been bad.
Okay.
But I don't know. It's still very possible. I just.
Huh.
Hold on. Okay, so let's see. Like I said, Disney Wish was the Thanksgiving release, but that did not do well. That was my girls loved it. That was the theme of Christmas this year, but I guess it didn't hit with a lot of people.
We missed.
I feel like there was another November release that was big. I don't think the Hunger Games movie did that well.
Yes, I think that might be it.
Did that do well enough to crack the top 10?
I don't know if it did well. I mean, the top 10 is such a kind of like, if enough people go to it, I don't know.
True.
Maybe that isn't it. Maybe that isn't it. I don't know.
Right, I'm going to need you guys to start circling around to some answers here.
All right.
It's
we've got 9.
It's as close to a. I mean, it's either that or the Aquaman one to me, honestly.
Okay. Which one tickles your pickle more? I really did not think the first Aquaman to me was not good. I was surprised it did as well as it did. So I would just be very surprised if Aquaman 2 had done that well. But I would also be surprised if Hunger Games did that well. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe let's go with. I don't know. I kind of want to go with Aquaman because I think there's a lot of superhero movies on there, because there are always a lot of superhero movies on there.
I'm okay with that. That's fine.
All right. Let's I don't know. Yeah, because I'm not tied to either one, but like I lean that way.
Yeah.
Hunger Games.
All right. So go ahead and give me your list slowly so I can score it.
All right. Sure. No problem.
All right. Full list. Okay.
Yeah. I in no particular order. We have Barbie.
Okay.
Oppenheimer, The Sound of Freedom, Super Mario Brothers.
Okay.
Ant-Man, Quantumania.
Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Okay.
The Little Mermaid.
Yep.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
Mission Impossible Rogue Nation 1.
It's Dead Reckoning.
Okay.
Dead Reckoning 1, whatever. Okay, I don't know. Whatever the fuck Mission Impossible was a part 1 that came out this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't care. Aquaman, and then Aquaman 2.
Okay. All right. And Jeremy and Jeff, what did you lock in with?
Fairly similar list, except a couple of things that we were waffling on. We went the other direction. So we had Barbenheimer, of course, Barbie and Oppenheimer. We also had Super Mario, Avatar: The Way of Water, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Across the Spider-Verse.
That was the one I was missing.
Avatar, but it
Ant-Man,
was released last year.
Ant-Man
this year.
Quantumania. Avatar was last year?
It came out
That's
in the
what-
end of December, but they're saying the charts for 2023. It would definitely be charting.
But I specifically asked whether this was released in 2023 for that reason.
Oh shit! Did it come out at Christmas last year?
It did. It did.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm not trying to
that's-
stomp on you guys. I just
I didn't even
No.
think
That's
about
totally
that. I
on me because I despise all things Avatar that are not airbending. So
All right.
that's
What else
on
did you have
me.
on your
And
list?
including one thing that is airbending, but we won't talk
Yeah.
about that one.
I lost where I was. What was the last thing I said? Ant-Man Quantumania.
Okay.
We had John Wick Chapter 4, the Taylor Swift Eras Tour, and Transformers Bestiality or Rise of the Beast or whatever that one was.
Mhm.
Okay.
I think that was
No,
sad.
they're absolutely right about John Wick and Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go through this list here. Number one, both teams picked it up with 636 million. It was Barbie. Number two at 500 and I'm calling it 75 million. The Super Mario Brothers movie was number two.
Yep.
Number three, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse at 381. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 came in at 359, which is 4. Oppenheimer came in at number 5, 326 million. Number 6, 298 million points to points to Jeff and Mike here for The Little Mermaid.
Forgot all about that.
Having two girls of that age is helpful on that one.
Number 7 at 214 and a half. Both teams picked up for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Number 8 at 187 million points to Jeremy and Jeffy for John Wick Chapter 4.
Yep.
Number 9 at 184 million points to Jeff and Mike here. Sound of Freedom came in at number 9.
Ugh.
And number 10, and the reason I was very careful to say theatrical releases and not movies, Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour.
Yep.
So
we both
Jeremy
got 8,
and Jeffy are picking up points there. So both teams picking up 8, not the same 8. As a point of note, Avatar: The Way of Water did come out in December of last year. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 was number 12. Sitting between those, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Transformers: Rise of the Beast was 13. Creed 3 was 14.
I didn't even think
Elemental
about that.
was 15.
We did talk about that one. We just knew it didn't do that well, so we didn't think it cracked.
Other ones that I've heard mentioned, Hunger Games was number 16. It missed the list by about 35 million. Which one, Jeremy, were you saying notoriously bombed?
Oh, the Marvels.
Oh, okay. The Marvels came in at number 29 with 84 million. And Wish was number 40 at 57 million. So both teams are picking up 16 points on that one. Also, Aquaman was number 53 at 38.3.
Okay. Yeah, it's just hadn't been out long enough.
I didn't think it had enough time to make enough money, but I also wasn't paying attention to box office the past week, so I thought
It
maybe
came in about $1 million behind 80 for Brady.
All right, well, I'm going to crack my
because
I'm cracking my backup beer for the second half here.
I got to get mine too.
I've got a Trophy Fodor Red here from Trophy Brewing right down the street here in Raleigh. It's tasty little
propaganda
funky
film
sour
coming in the top 10. That's
sours,
just,
and I'm a little bit sour
I
at Jeremy right at the moment. So,
So real quick, my backup beer. I'm killing the 6-pack on this one. I picked this up for, about 2 months ago, but it is a beer that is brewed in Sarajevo. And I picked it up because I wasn't sure if I would have another opportunity to pick up a beer that's brewed in Sarajevo.
Fair enough.
drink it on Christmas Eve, 12/24.
Right?
I was just about to
Well,
say that.
That's Sarajevsko Dark 1864, so it's kind of
Yeah, right.
That
not
sounds
too far off.
great.
That's actually really really good. I enjoy it.
Would you like an apple pie with that? Would you like an apple pie with that?
All right, how's that beer, Mike?
No, it's really good. Like I said, this is the final in the 6-pack. This has been my backup beer for several recordings that I've done over the past couple weeks or so. So it's very good.
Okay. Well, we head into our second half with a score of Jeremy and Jeffy with 106. Jeff and Mike have 96. No ground gained or lost there, but both teams are picking up 16 points. Question number 11. Well, I lost a half a day of skiing. So said what celebrity who was sued this year following a 2016 incident? As it turns out, she also lost $1 in symbolic damages in the lawsuit.
Picking up my notepad to write to Jeff.
Yeah, I think we're locked in.
Jeffy and Jeremy are locked in. Jeff and Mike, go ahead and talk this out.
I remember this whole thing, and I cannot remember who it was.
I don't remember this whole thing. I lost a day of skiing and paid $1 in symbolic damages. Like, I don't remember.
Yeah,
this at
it
all.
was something where like someone had sued her because she like pushed someone, and it was really freaking weird.
Let me ask you a question. Is there any reason that the name Gwyneth Paltrow popped into my head?
Yeah, that sounds really familiar. Actually,
I have no
I
idea.
honestly, I kind of feel like that vibes with what I was kind of getting to. So I mean, I knew it was someone in the kind of influencer set, but also probably an actress. So that kind of makes sense. So
Yeah. I mean,
let's
do you
roll
want to
with
hear
it.
the question again or just go with it?
No, fuck it. Let's roll with it.
All right.
Gwyneth Paltrow. Final answer.
All right. Jeff and Mike lock in with Gwyneth Paltrow. Jeffy and Jeremy, what did you say?
We did another Chicago suburbs bald guy mind meld, and we both typed Gwyneth Paltrow at the same time to each other.
Both
Wow,
teams.
that was more of a question because it was one of those. It was
Yeah.
one of those like I don't know why this just popped into my head, but does
Right,
this
there
ring
you
a
go.
bell?
No,
Right?
if I remember, I could be misremembering
Yeah,
where I
I
heard
think
it,
Jeff's right.
but I think Jay from Liquid Courage asked about it on the WTF because I remember
Oh,
I think I play tested
Maybe,
that
right,
question.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you're right. I
Yeah.
think you're exactly right.
One of those
I
things that are
bel-
just stuck in your head now because of it. You know.
I believe you are right that she did ask about this in the WTF. This is Gwyneth Paltrow, and basically the lawsuit was he sued her for damages because she ran into him on the ski slopes, and for some reason they awarded him $1 in damages. even though like at least the claim was he had like 4 broken ribs and a concussion.
Jeez.
I don't know the details of the lawsuit, so I'm not going to try to opine on it, but that's basically the gist of it.
$1. That's
I thought
enough
she
to
did
buy.
some like really jackassy passive aggressive move on the way out of the courthouse too. Like that's what sticks
Right.
in my head. Like she like clapped him on the shoulder and said, "I feel sorry for you" or something like on her way out, or some just unbelievably catty shit.
But this was Gwyneth Paltrow, so both teams are going to pick up points on this as we
Could be
head
making that up.
as we head to question 12. The FDIC announced in March that what institution had been shut down by California regulators following a number of factors, including a run on the institute's assets. This was the second largest such failure until First Republic Bank followed suit just a few weeks later.
We're locked in.
Jeffy and Jeremy are locked in. Jeff and Mike, talk this out.
So I was just typing Silicon Valley Bank to
Yes,
you,
that's-
Mike, and I think that's it.
That's what I was. It was taking me a minute to unlock my phone, but which I just locked again. Why do I keep hitting the lock button? It's a.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
I was
Silicon
picking
Valley
up my
Bank.
phone to text you
Yeah.
exactly that. So yeah.
All right. Jeff and Mike lock in with Silicon Valley Bank. What about Jeffy and Jeremy?
That's well, to be fair, I did type Silicon Valley Bank. I misspelled it, but it's Silicon Valley Bank.
I'm in.
Silicone had disappeared.
Yeah,
like
Silicone.
Roanoke.
Silicon Valley is more Los Angeles County.
Yeah.
Okay, both teams locked in with Silicon Valley Bank, and yeah, it really quickly went from the second largest bank failure to the third largest after First Republic failed like the next month or
Yeah.
something like that. But this was Silicon Valley Bank. We head to question number 13. Merriam-Webster chose authentic, and Collins Dictionary chose AI. What related word, with use dating back to the 1650s, did both Dictionary.com and Cambridge select as their word of the year? In context, the word describes when an artificial intelligence produces false information.
All right, we can lock in.
Jeremy and Jeffy have locked in. Jeff and Mike, where are your heads at?
Nowhere.
Fucking nowhere right now.
Yeah.
I got nothing on this one.
Yeah, I really don't either.
I was hoping that someone who literally works in computers.
Yeah, but embedded computer programming is about as far away from artificial intelligence as you can get.
Yeah, that's fair. There's
in
some
terms of
machine
that.
learning models in our thing, but
Yep.
I don't know that we usually mess with the false information that much because they're all regression predictions, and
Right.
usually when an AI produces false information in the real world, I just call it bullshit.
Right.
So I'm assuming bullshit is not the answer
Bullshit is
here.
probably although the use might date back to about the 1650s.
It's true.
I was trying to think of something like colonial times, or I guess, or even like pre-colonial, like
misleading or
yeah, that's why I was kind of going like Salem. I don't remember exactly when that was, but
it was 1690s.
yeah, I was thinking it was a little later, but
yeah, something with like spells and
exactly.
Or it could be something weird in Shakespeare. No, Shakespeare was earlier.
Shakespeare had been immort for almost half a century at that point. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to start paying attention to all these words of the year things because they always come up in trivia.
Yeah. Right.
The
adverse
thing is,
yeah.
I'm trying to think of conversations I've had about artificial intelligence and whether anything's come up, but drawing a blank.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not getting to it. I may not even recognize it when it's said.
I may or may not either. Yeah. It's like mal something like
malaprop.
Malaprop was the first thing that popped into my head too, even though I know it's not it.
I mean, it makes sense that it was because it was first brought up in the 1650s, right? Miss Malaprop from the Rivals or whatever it was.
That's a good point.
So I mean, that's as close as I'm gonna get to something that's vaguely 17th century-ish. So why don't we just go with it?
I say end the misery. Yeah, malaprop.
Yeah, malaprop.
Mike and Jeff lock in with malaprop. Jeffy and Jeremy, what did you say?
So this is one that I saw a couple weeks ago. It doesn't make a lot of sense. This would be the 2023 word of the year, but at first I thought I started typing Riz immediately because that's the weird one.
That's what I started talking to.
That's the one I took out of the question because it's not related.
It's not related at all. But the other one that comes in, again, I never really understood how it fits with computers, but I guess they're talking about when AI goes Ari that it's hallucinating. So hallucinate is the other word that I remember from this year.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, so I first learned about this from my wife who works with AI. Basically, when an AI system makes up wrong information, it is said to be hallucinating. And that is Dictionary.com and Cambridge's word of the year.
Nice. And
I've actually seen that firsthand. I needed AI to do. I needed to find some information for a model I was building, and so I asked ChatGPT to find a particular, this biological quantity that I needed. So I asked, hey, what is the weight of so and so and so, and they gave me back a perfectly reasonable sounding number with a perfectly reasonable sounding citation that when I tried to chase it down didn't fucking exist.
I had a
I just
similar...
thought it was bullshitting me. I didn't call it hallucinating. I just called it full of shit and moved on.
I had a similar thing happen. I was trying to write this kind of complex SQL script to find some information for one of our clients, like in their database. And I had it part of the way. I'm like, I'm missing something. I'm missing one of the commands or something. So I went to ChatGPT and did the same thing. And it shot back this whole thing of code that did not relate at all.
Yep. So the word we were looking
It's
for
actually
there,
a virus.
Yeah, put this on your client's computer. Wait.
the word we were looking for is hallucinate on that one. So points going to Jeremy and Jeffy, who extend their lead just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to move on to question 14. On February 3rd, a train derailed at East Palestine, a small city in Ohio. The derailment prompted evacuations of the town due to chemicals that were eventually released into the air intentionally by officials. To what company did that train, along with several others that derailed this year, belong?
This was seriously 2023. This feels like forever ago.
Every year just feels like it's getting longer and
Right.
longer.
is it actually pronounced East Palestine? Or did they
I believe so.
Did they just forego the American tradition of mispronouncing names we've taken from other places like Cairo? That's an Illinois joke.
I believe it is East Palestine, even though it's west of
Palestine.
Well, it depends on which way you go.
I guess that's fair.
Shortest way?
Jerry, are we good to lock in with that?
Yeah, we can lock in.
I think we.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
If you guys,
okay.
if
Go
you guys
ahead.
would like to
We're
lock in,
literally just about to lock in. I knew it was either CSX or Norfolk Southern, and I wasn't really sure either way. I think we were both kind of leaning towards CSX.
Yep.
So we went with them.
Okay. Jeff and Mike lock in with CSX. Jeffy and Jeremy, what did you say here?
Well, I hope it's not CSX because we went Norfolk Southern.
And it is Norfolk Southern. They were their trains were responsible for numbers of significant train derailments this year.
I actually thought CSX had a couple too.
Most notably, though, Norfolk Southern is the one that derailed in East Palestine, Ohio.
it's almost as if deregulation and reduction of like labor costs for those companies were a bad thing.
Why would removing safety regulations ever be bad?
Jeffy, you're saying the quiet part out loud.
I'm just gonna
Question number 15. 3 weeks after the ouster of Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House, who was finally elected to replace him? And I do need first and last name.
Yeah, can we lock in on this one? Do you kind of?
Yes, we can.
You and I
lock in
both
on this.
know it, right? All right, we're locked in.
Mike and Jeff are locked in. Jeffy and Jeremy, you get a chance to talk this out.
Oh,
yeah, I pay way too close attention to politics and to my detriment. I think my mental detriment for the most part.
Yeah.
But he's the most plain white guy name ever, Mike Johnson.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah.
All right, Jeremy and Jeffy say Mike Johnson. Jeff and Mike, what did you say?
So
Yeah.
I have to remind myself that he's from Louisiana because every single fucking time I hear his name, my brain goes, bona fide bride, step aside, Mike Johnson. Yes, I could, in the woods of Wisconsin.
Oh, right. That would be way more interesting than
Right?
some extremely right-wing evangelical dude named Mike Johnson.
You know, life is beautiful around the world.
It's true.
It is.
And yes, I did require first and last names so that nobody could throw out a Lucky Johnson.
Yep.
It served as both a clue and, trying to break the Jeopardy last names only thing.
One should really never try to throw out a Lucky Johnson without consent, folks.
Of note, Mike Johnson.
Jeffy, sorry to do that while you were clearly
It's okay.
inhaling something.
I'm all right.
Mike Johnson, notably from Louisiana, and in between we had a representative from Ohio, a representative from Minnesota, and another representative from Louisiana, all try and fail to get the position.
Shit show.
We had
sorry.
We head to the final quarter of our game. Jeremy and Jeffy have a lead of 156 to Jeff and Mike's 126, but there's still some time left to play catch up. Question number 16. Who was posthumously awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on the 4th of May this year?
Locked in. 100%.
Jeremy and Jeffy are locked in. Jeremy and Jeffy are locked in. Jeff
Gotta
and
be
Mike.
Carrie Fisher, right?
It's got to be Carrie Fisher. That's the only thing I can think of, and I do seem to recall something along those lines. And I mean, May 4th obviously gets you to that
Right.
general area.
Someone Star Warsy.
Exactly. So.
And so, yeah, we're going to say Carrie Fisher.
All right. Jeff and Mike say Carrie Fisher. Jeffy and Jeremy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Giant Star Wars fan here. Yeah, it's Carrie Fisher.
It is Carrie Fisher. And yes, I did say the 4th of May to not immediately lock on to May the 4th.
As opposed to the 1st of May. 1st of May. Outdoor fucking
Yeah,
starts
that's when
May.
outdoor fucking starts.
I
literally
don't get
have
that
no
joke.
idea where
Jonathan Colton.
Jonathan
no one?
Colton.
Oh, okay.
Sing a little song
Yeah,
about fucking outside. It's such a good song.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, this
I will
game's
get you
been
a
a triumph. Anyway, we head to question 17. And speaking of triumphs, a breakthrough at a lab in Northern California led to the first ignition in what scientific process? The breakthrough could lead to unlimited energy, though scientists believe that possibility is still decades away.
Yep.
Locked in.
Jeff and Mike are locked in. Jeff and Jeremy, go ahead and talk out your thoughts.
My very first thought when you were talking about renewable energy that is thought to be decades away, if at all possible, was cold fusion, or fusion in general. Just not. I'm almost positive that all of our atomic reactors do fission, and that we haven't gotten fusion. Jeremy, I'm just kind of making words with my mouth now. If you could come up with an answer.
I think you're right. I think this is cold fusion. I believe you're correct. I in the side there was looking for the Jonathan Colton video so I could share it with everybody, and it started playing in my ears right as the question was asked. So I caught the end of it, but yes, no, with you repeating that, I believe you're right with cold fusion.
Yeah, if the movie The Saint has taught us anything, it's that Elizabeth Shue and cold fusion will save us.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeffy and Jeremy locked in with cold fusion. Jeff and Mike, what did you lock in with?
Yeah, we locked in with the same thing.
I'm sorry, my brain has gone off into Elizabeth Shue in the Saint land.
While someone pours a bucket of cold water on Mike, we'll lock in with fusion also.
Okay, and to be clear, you are locking in with fusion?
Well, I mean, cold fusion is a somewhat subset of fusion. It would be the one that would actually be useful for energy. Cold fusion isn't itself a separate chemical process. It's all fusion, right? So the idea behind the unlimited energy thing is that you could ignite fusion without starting
a star,
from a temperature of several million degrees. So yeah, if you want to call that cold fusion, then sure, let's go.
You know what?
I mean,
Jeremy's like, as Jeff goes on, I'm just going to pour myself more bourbon.
It does not require the modifier cold, is what I'm saying. The idea of we can create fusion in a bomb, but we can't create it in an electrical system yet. And so that's what the innovation actually was.
We broke Tim. Cheers.
So yeah, if you say the answer is cold fusion and we said fusion and we're therefore wrong, I'm walking off the podcast.
I would say if that's the case, then that give them the credit.
My problem is that I think it's the other way.
It's not hot.
It's
fusion.
that we didn't make a breakthrough in cold fusion. We made a breakthrough in just nuclear fusion.
That's what that's where I thought he was going. Is
I mean,
if we're launching it with just fusion,
fine. Washing my hands of it. We'll take the hit. They can have.
That's why I was sitting here going, "Fuck."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cold fusion is something that they're trying to work on actively.
Right. But the breakthrough was not in cold fusion. So unfortunately, I can't give credit to cold fusion, which is why I asked specifically when you both locked in.
No.
What you said.
I mean, I guess I don't know what the temperature of that reaction was. So
but we just
33 degrees fusion, so it's not quite freezing.
Chilly fusion.
Wind chill.
Like the page for cold fusion doesn't include the number 2023 anywhere on it.
Yeah.
If you give me 30 seconds, it can.
No, that's fair. No, and again, this is my geekdom going too far. When he said cold fusion, I'm like, yes, because that's something they've been trying to figure out for a long time.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's a fair hit. I over answered.
Unfortunately, cold fusion is a little bit too specific. So credit is going to Jeff and Mike. And that's not at all a decision that's being made because it makes the game more interesting, and only because I'm trying to be as accurate as possible, because there are no pedants in trivia.
None at all.
None at all.
No, but honestly, that's fair because, like I said, when he said cold fusion, I'm like, yep, that's it. Because, it's something I've... sciencey stuff.
Right. Yeah. It's the holy grail, right?
Yeah. Cold fusion is the holy grail. I'm like, oh my God, they made leaps and bounds in it this year. I didn't even know it. Great.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Elizabeth Shue and the Saint is the holy grail. Let's be real.
Okay, so we head to question number 18. What nation became the 31st member of NATO when it was accepted in April? The move was spurred by concerns over the conflict in Ukraine.
We're locked in.
Jeffy and Jeremy are locked in. Jeremy and Mike, go ahead and talk out your thoughts.
All right, Mike, let's talk about this.
It was kind of funny because this was our first stab at the Eurovision.
When we were talking about Eurovision, Jeff threw out Finland, and then we later talked ourselves into Sweden. And as soon as you read this question, we both texted each other at the same time. We said, and now here comes Finland.
All right, so Jeff and Mike are locking in with Finland. Jeremy and Jeffy, what did you say?
And now here comes Finland.
Yeah.
That's that episode title, anyone? Yeah.
We also said Finland.
Okay. Yep. Both teams are getting points on this one. It is Finland. So no ground gained or lost there. Question number 19, the long-awaited fashion question. I know you've been waiting on a question for fashion.
All you, Jeffy.
Can I tag my wife in?
American art collective Mischief released what fashion items in February? The product was seen courtside being worn by Steve Aoki in Boston, while Seth Rollins notably wore them on an episode of Raw.
We're locked in.
Jeffy and Jeremy are
This would
locked
absolutely
in.
be something that my wife would know, and for some reason she hasn't talked about it with me yet.
Well, the fact that it was featured on an episode of Raw, I feel like this is a stealth wrestling question. So again, I feel like we are at a disadvantage.
It doesn't matter what your fashion is.
This has got to be something like sunglasses or gloves or belts or something, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
It's got to be an accessory. If it's worn on an episode of wrestling, they don't wear that many clothes.
No, absolutely. Agreed.
This is like a fucking robe.
A robe?
I was going to say, we are talking about Seth Rollins here, so.
Fair.
It doesn't matter who
It
your
said-
cousin is. Oh,
And it was, and in addition to Raw, it was also worn by
Steve Aoki, courtside in Boston.
Okay. Meaning robe isn't such a bad
All right, fine.
guess.
Go with
I
it.
don't know anything. I don't know.
Robe. Final answer.
Jeff and Mike lock in with robe. Jeffy and Jeremy, what did you lock in with?
Okay, so I am notoriously awful all
you.
at fashion questions.
I
But
got nothing.
the very first time I saw these, I thought it was a joke because somebody had reproduced Mega Man's feet and sold them to other people. I'm just like, these are the dumbest things I've ever seen. And then they keep showing up. They're those big red boots. And they
know
look
exactly
like
what
Mega
you're
Man
talking
feet.
about.
They're the dumbest thing ever.
yeah.
All you said was feet, and Jay entered the chat.
I know exactly what you're talking about now.
All right, so
It's a
Jeffy and
fashion question,
Jeremy,
I
you're
know, I'm
locking in
excited.
with.
Big red boots.
And big red boots is a correct answer.
Yeah.
These are
Yeah.
literally like huge
Mhm.
foam looking red boots.
Now that
They
you
look-
say this, I
yeah,
think
they're
I've
like
seen
footy
them.
boots,
I think
too.
I've
They
seen
just
them,
look
but I
like
would have never
bare
pulled that.
feet, Yeah.
Just
If you
Same.
if you just Google big red boots just like that, you'll see it and go, oh.
Yeah, just imagine Mega
no,
Man in his Rush Coil outfit with like the red and white. That's his feet are what they look like. They're just big, bulky, round, doofusy looking boots.
Yeah.
I just Googled it, and good God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
Beth and I were mocking these the other day. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Like, I remember seeing the
Get any of
pictures,
the
but I wasn't going to pull that. I thought
references
that was a
from-
joke. I thought like
Yeah.
somebody posted that as a joke, like somebody wearing these big giant red boots. I didn't think that was an actual thing.
Yeah.
All right, we've reached our final question in the main game here. The largest publicly known defamation lawsuit was settled in April, with Fox News paying more than $787 million over its 2020 election lies against what company? I'm sure it's totally a coincidence that the station fired Tucker Carlson less than a week later.
We're locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff and Mike are locked in. Jeremy and Jeffy, go ahead and talk out your answers.
Yeah, I was hoping you were just say like the amount or the company, like who lost, which was Fox. But Fox was being sued by Dominion Voting Systems for lying about the 2020 election and saying their stuff was rigged and all that. So, yeah, Dominion Voting Systems.
Jeremy and Jeffy locking in with Dominion Voting Systems. Jeff and Mike, what did you lock in with here?
Yeah, absolutely. It was Dominion Voting Systems, who I believe have controlled the Gamma Quadrant for quite some time.
Dominion also a descriptor of what Jeffy and Jeremy are holding over us right now.
Also, a great card game.
Yeah, actually, if you really zoom in,
I have it
on
up
the
there.
shelf,
Yep.
You can see back there. I have two versions of it. Yeah.
Fun story with that, really quick. So I for a couple of years I did the Reddit Secret Santa thing, and one year somebody
nice.
sent me Dominion, like the
Oh,
actual,
nice.
like the full game. Like
Oh,
sometimes,
wow.
Nice.
sometimes you get like a $5 thing or whatever, or not even. And
Right.
Right.
one year I got this awesome. Pull it out here. Leather-bound Count of Monte Cristo from someone.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's
They
so
said it was their
cool.
favorite book of all time, and I said I liked reading and like fantasy stuff. Like, hey, this is my favorite book of all time. I hope you read it and enjoy it. And I got that. I still have the card in here somewhere. They sent me like a Christmas card with it and everything, with like
That's
a
way
message
cool.
inside.
That's awesome.
And then
Yeah.
the next year I got Dominion from
Good
somebody.
luck, man.
So yeah, I can't complain. It's worked out well, but I haven't done it in a couple of years. I should probably get back into it again because it is fun doing like some random person on the internet.
Yeah. Plus, you might
Yeah.
also get Bill Gates.
Yeah, you could get Bill Gates.
Right.
He'll
He
send
sends you
a whole
like
shit ton of Microsoft
$1,000
stuff.
worth of Microsoft stuff.
Well, both teams are locking in with the correct answer of Dominion Voting Systems. We have reached the end of our main game and heading into the wager rounds. Jeremy and Jeffy hold a lead of 196 to Jeff and Mike's 166. The way this round is going to go, you can wager up to 25 points on each category. We don't have any issues in which you could potentially wager more than you have because you guys are both beyond or you're all beyond 125 points. So you can wager up to 25 points on each question. Our overarching category for this final section is awards. And our 4 questions are in the categories of, or our 5 questions, sorry. Our 5 questions are in the categories of the Big Four, college sports, got, EGOT, and time. So go ahead and lock in your wagers. Jeff and Mike, do you have your wagers?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. All right. So we have our wagers locked in. Our first question is in the category of the Big Four, and all of these questions have to do with awards. Of the 4 major North American sports leagues, 3 saw first-time champions in 2023. Give me all 3 teams that won their league's respective championships for the first time this year.
So,
are you guys locked
yeah,
in?
We're locked in.
All right. Jeff and Jeremy are locked in.
Okay, yeah, I think we just came to the answer here because I think we both knew Vegas Golden Knights for the NHL.
Right.
And we both got Texas Rangers for MLB, and we were kind of bouncing around basketball for a while. I think we both had thought Milwaukee Bucks, but that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm behind a few
And
years.
So we ended up with Denver Nuggets, who I believe won this year.
Yeah.
All
That
right.
was
And what did you
Nikola
wager there?
Jokic going off. So
We wagered 25 on that one.
Okay. Jeremy and Jeffy, what did you lock in with?
We also locked in with the Nuggets for the NBA, the Golden Knights for the NHL in their 6th year. That was really fast, I think.
Yeah.
And then for my boy Sam Carr down in Texas, the Rangers won the World Series. And we also wagered big old 25 on that.
Okay. And we will visit the correct answers here at the end. Question 2 in the category of college sports. Louisiana State won the women's college basketball tournament. What team won the men's tournament, the 5th in the school's history?
You have anything, Jeff, since they're locked in?
No, I was currently in the middle of typing. I pay 0 attention to most
Real
college
quick.
sports.
Did I miss Jeff and Mike locking in?
Yes.
We did lock in.
Yeah,
Okay.
they did lock in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then go ahead and talk it out, Jeremy and Jeffy.
You said it
Oh
was
my God.
the 5th? The 5th in
The
their
5th in
history?
the school's history.
Yeah, and I did one of those like stupid brackets that I think we actually did in the Discord server for PTE. Shout out to that. But I don't remember who won because I didn't pay attention. It was one of those, I was out by like the 2nd round, like where none of my picks were left. I know it was someone who wasn't expected. It wasn't like a first round. It wasn't a number 1. I do remember that much because like I did a couple like stupid picks and I made it to the 2nd round where this school shouldn't have made it. But
I mean, the only thing that I got going for it is I know it's not, I'm pretty sure it's not Duke because I think they have more than 5.
is it maybe Auburn or like somebody with an A? I feel like
That's a
there's
color.
like an
Colors are
A.
fun.
Sure.
Let's pick
Auburn. Let's go Auburn. Sure. It was Auburn.
I have no clue.
Okay. Jeffy and Jeremy lock in with Auburn. Jeff and Mike, what did you lock in with? Or what did you wager?
So weirdly enough, I don't know that I would have known this had we not been spending a decent chunk of the past few days watching college basketball. And one of the games we saw the team in question receive their rings and watch the rings on their fingers, put them on. It was the University of Connecticut.
And what did you wager?
Also known as Auburn.
Yeah, we threw 15 at this one. Yeah, we weren't really sure whether it was going to be basketball or football. If it was football, we definitely would have missed it. If it was basketball, I at least know something about it.
Right.
So,
Okay. Our third question is in the category of got. Due to the writer's strike, the 2023 Emmy Awards were rescheduled and will take place this January. Give me either the best play or best musical at this year's Tony Awards.
All right, we'll lock in.
Jeff and Mike have locked in. Jeffy and Jeremy, go ahead and talk this out.
So I've got something in my head, and I don't think it's right, and it was like something Leopold. So I was like, I'm thinking like it's either we go Leopold and stop there, but I feel like there was more to it. Otherwise, we say Kate and Leopold, and we just make a joke of it and move on.
Yeah. The only two things that popped into my head were Hadestown, because I'm a big fan of the Orpheus myth, so people keep telling me to pay attention to that, which
I need to see it
continuously keep ignoring. And then, but that was a couple of years ago, I think. And then I remember seeing somebody was posting about going to see A Strange Loop, and then I looked into what that was, and it was like a time loop where the person that wrote the musical is starring in the musical as he's writing the musical, and that sounded like something really interesting. But those are just two things that hopped out at me. I'm not big on current theater, so
I usually am, and this is why like some of that's stuck in my head. But A Strange Loop, I think, is a musical, and I don't know much about it. I know that Hadestown was last year. Like Hadestown was a big thing in I think 2021, 2022. It's still going, but it's not up for like best anymore because it's been running for a while. I'm okay going A Strange Loop because I can't think of the Leopold thing, and I know there's something more to it. It's not just Leopold. So either the joke answer of Kate and Leopold, which obviously was a movie and all that, but A Strange Loop, that's a big thing on Broadway.
Yeah, let's try.
And
let's go with it.
Let's go with it. I'm fine with that. Let's go with A Strange Loop.
Okay. Jeffy and Jeremy lock in with A Strange Loop. Jeff and Mike, what did you lock in with?
So for very many years, my wife was very keyed into the Tonys. And then I feel like once we had kids, that's just kind of fallen off. So the past couple of years have been a little blurry, but she still keeps up on it better than I do, which is why this stuck out in my head from a Learned League question a little while back, which described what both of us could only ascribe as I'm a little teapot. That was our best guess. But the answer that ended up being to that question, I don't remember if it was a best musical or best play Tony, but the name of the show was Akimbo, I think. So we locked in with Akimbo.
All right. And what did you wager on that one?
We wagered 20 on that one.
Okay. Question number 4 in the category of EGOT. One performer joined the exclusive EGOT Winners Club this year. Who is this performer who took home the Grammy for Best Audiobook, Narration, and Storytelling Recording for Finding Me to complete their EGOT?
I think we're locked in.
Jeffy and Jeremy are locked in. Jeffy and Jeremy are locked in. Jeff and Mike, go ahead and talk this out.
I kind of think this book is on my bookshelf right now. Because I think my wife picked it up at the bookstore a few months ago, and because we have such a backlog of books, obviously haven't gotten around to reading it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's Viola Davis.
I mean, I know, yeah, that makes sense. I know she's got the E and the O.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the T. I wouldn't know about the T.
I don't.
She might have gotten it for. I think she was on stage for one of the August Wilson ones. I think.
Right. That's a solid guess.
Yeah. Let's go Viola Davis then.
Okay.
Jeff and Mike lock in with Viola Davis. Jeremy and Jeffy, what did you say?
Yeah, 100% Viola Davis. I was hoping you were going to be like, no, she didn't get her whatever from something. And yeah, no, she did. She is the newest member of the EGOT club. Well-deserved, I must say.
Oh, and Jeff and Mike, what did you wager?
We wagered 20 on that one.
And for audio purposes, we wagered 25.
Okay. Our final question in the category of time. Taylor Swift was Times Person of the Year. Lionel Messi was Athlete of the Year. What founder of OpenAI took home the CEO of the Year award this year?
Unless Jeff tells me otherwise, I think we can.
No, I was
lock in.
I was trying to type that as you typed it.
All right. Jeremy and Jeffy are locked in for the last time. Jeff and Mike, talk out your thoughts.
Yeah, wasn't there this big drama around Sam Altman in the
because
months ago where he got
canned,
thrown out, and then everyone pulled him back in, and yeah. So it's got to be Sam Altman, right?
That's what that was my thought too.
Okay. And what did you wager?
We wagered 25 on that one.
Okay. And Jeremy and Jeffy, what did you say?
We also said Sam Altman. There was, like you said, there was a whole hubbub about him. He got outed. Microsoft hired him, which I don't know what's going on with that.
Right.
Like immediately. They also said, because basically what happened was everybody at OpenAI was going to quit.
Yeah.
Because he got outed. And again, there's a whole bunch of shit going on with Sam Altman with his past and stuff that came to light that we're not going to get into here. So we're not talking about his character, but he got brought back finally because Microsoft offered everybody a job who was going to leave and join him.
Yep.
And then they brought him back, so those people didn't quit. Who knows what it was in the long run, but yeah, it's definitely Sam Altman.
Okay, so let's go back through all these. And you wagered 25 there, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. In the category of the big four of the major four North American sports leagues, 3 saw first-time champions. I wanted all 3 of those first-time champions. The only repeat winner was the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs. So the correct answers were the Texas Rangers in Major League Baseball, the Denver Nuggets in basketball, and the Vegas Golden Knights in hockey. Both teams picking up their wagers there. Louisiana State won the women's college basketball tournament, but we wanted to know who won the men's tournament. I thought this was interesting because you typically associate the school with winning the women's tournament. It is the University of Connecticut,
otherwise known as Auburn.
In the category of GOT, because the Emmys were... Huh?
The
Emmys were rescheduled for this January. I wanted either the best play or best musical winner at this year's Tony Awards. Jeremy, the reason that Strange Loop is tickling something is because last year I asked you to name either the winner of best play or best musical at the 2022
it was
Tonys,
last year.
And it was the Lehman Trilogy or A Strange Loop. This year it was Leopoldstadt or Kimberly Akimbo. Unfortunately, I can't give credit for just Akimbo.
You're right. You're absolutely right. As I was saying it, I was like, it's not just Akimbo, it's something else.
You both had
Jeopardy rules. If it's
answers.
Kimberly Akimbo, I mean, it's Akimbo. Right. That's fine. Jeopardy rules. I'd give it to him.
Exactly.
You both had part of the answers that you were looking for.
I tried, Mike.
Can we both get half credit?
Right.
Jeremy, I was thinking that the Leopold answer would be this jaunty musical about a genocide in the Congo.
Oh God.
Can both teams have?
And then it ends up being Leopoldstadt. And I'm like, this is now the only thing I can think of.
It's one of those things where I heard, I think I was probably listening to something like a podcast or something where they talked about it. And it was like, Leopold is sticking in my head. I don't know why Leopold is sticking in my head, but yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's all one word, but it has STADT at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was the best play, and Kimberly Akimbo was the best musical.
So Kate and Leopold got it.
Yep. Kim and Leopold.
In EGOT, we wanted to find the only person to join the EGOT Winners Club this year for best audio, after winning the Grammy for best audiobook for Finding Me. It was Viola Davis. She won her Oscar for Fences. She won her Emmy for How to Get Away with Murder. And she actually has 2 Tony Awards. She won for Best Featured Actress in King Hedley 2 and Best Leading Actress for Fences.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I was pretty sure
I was right about the
pretty sure she got
Wilson
the
thing.
Tony for Fences and Oscar. That's why I was.
Yeah.
Yep.
And finally, we talked about the Time People of the Year. Taylor Swift was Person of the Year. Lionel Messi was Athlete of the Year. And OpenAI founder Sam Altman was the correct answer for the CEO of the Year. So if my math is correct here, Jeremy and Jeffy are going to pick up a net of 25 points, while Jeff and Mike are going to pick up a net of 65 points.
Oof.
Oh,
Ooh!
Meaning our winners today with a score of 231 to 221.
Auburn.
Jeff and Mike are
Wow.
our winners.
Congrats, guys.
Congrats,
Good
guys.
Wow,
job.
great game, guys.
It really
Good
just came
grief.
down to the Yukon poll.
The Yukon question.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Uh,
Also known as Auburn. So, really, I think that's just unfair.
I'm glad I talked Mike out of the zero there.
Yeah. We were both like, I was both like, because we were sitting here going, because you mentioned award winners, and both Jeff and I are going, oh shit, who won the Heisman? Like neither one of us could pull it up. But Jeff was like, yeah, let's wager a little bit just in case it's basketball.
the Heisman this year was Jaden Daniels, who
Was
won
Jaden
like
Daniels. Oh, you're right.
won
You're
like
right.
a month ago.
Yep.
Okay.
I
Because
used to
it's
always watch
awarded in
that
December
ceremony.
and not in
Yeah.
January.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I would have known that one apparently.
So that brings our episode to a close and closes the book on 2023 here at PTE. I want to thank everybody for being on this recording and all of the listeners who have been with us through what has been a really good year for the PTE network. We've seen a lot of expansion. We went from 2 to soon to be 5 shows in a very short period. So before we go, we want to give everybody a chance to plug anything they have. So let's start with Mike. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, like you mentioned, the PTE network has grown substantially this past year. Obviously, the Pub Trivia Experience. You're listening to this show. Hopefully, you've also visited our original sister podcast, Boozy Bracketology. But your host tonight, Tim, started the Frenemy Trivia Podcast back in, what was that, Tim? April or May timeframe?
June was our first episode.
Was it June? Okay, yeah, but and that's gotten a huge response. It's so much fun. I was both actually 3 of the 4 of us were fortunate enough to be on the pilot episode of that. I'm looking forward to being back on in the upcoming season. That's a blast. And we also have Verboten, which is our the 4th podcast that's joined our network. Which is hosted by the incomparable Jay Borsum, the hardest working woman in trivia. It's a fantastic word game. It's tons of fun. I personally haven't had a chance to be a guest on that yet. I'm looking forward to it, but I listen to it constantly. It is so much fun. And our 5th show, I will defer to later on for the plugging on that one. But definitely, we're super excited for all of the content that we're able to bring you. So check out all of those shows. You can find them anywhere you stream podcasts, and there's a lot more exciting content forthcoming in 2024. So I definitely hope you check that out. And that's all I have.
All right. And what's our website now? PTEnetwork.com?
I believe PTEnetwork.com is or will soon be live. Yes.
I think it's PTEpodcast.com. We're having an issue with PTEnetwork.com.
That's right.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
You can still get to everything at PTEBB.com for the time being.
Correct.
Let's turn it over to Jeremy for anything he's got to plug.
Mike said it best. Like, everything that's been going on at the network has been fantastic. I am humbled to having been asked to be a part of the PTE Network podcasts, particularly Pub Trivia Experience and some Boozy Bracketology. But having been on multiple shows and a spot on the upcoming podcast from Jeff that he'll talk about later, I'm just super happy. It's been a great year. Other than that, you can check me out on twitch.tv/LKJeremy. Thursday nights, we do a trivia show. It's Brian Nash and I. We'll be taking a little bit of a break in January, but after that, we're going to be back doing that weekly still. Thursday nights on twitch.tv/LKJeremy, 9:30 p.m. Central. And just looking forward to seeing where Jeff's show goes, because holy shit, is it fun and infuriating. And again, when he gets to him, I will let him talk about it, but it is a lot of fun.
Is it
All right.
as infuriating as watching your favorite author of all time lose to Andy fucking Weir?
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
a little bit. A little
Yeah.
Well,
Then
here's
sign me
thing.
the fuck up.
One of my favorite authors of all time got out in the first round because it was a play-in game for R.A. Salvatore versus someone who made it past that first round
Right.
and then was up against J.R.R. Tolkien. Fuck!
right, yeah, that's
come on,
I just gotta
Salvatore.
say, while we're talking about angriness at Boozy Bracketology, I had to physically pull my car over and scream because Hollow Knight went out in the very first round of the music draft for video games. Garbage. Absolute nonsense. Chris Borzum was the only one who had sense on the entire panel. End of
What was it up
statement.
against? What was it? What was
I don't
it up
even remember.
against?
It was
Okay.
Skyrim, maybe, probably. I don't know.
Oh,
It was.
well, okay. I mean,
I get
okay.
it. I get it. But Hollow Knight is great. The music is
It
so
is.
good.
He gets
well,
it. He
here-
doesn't have to like it.
I mean, here's the thing.
That's right.
Chrono
Yeah.
Trigger got out in the first round. Okay,
That also
I don't want
was
to hear about it.
bullshit.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear about it.
you could 30 games up against Chrono Trigger. But
If you know what they're talking about, head to Boozy Bracketology and check out the best video game music bracket hosted by Jay Borsum. Before we get to
sci-fi fantasy author, right?
right
Hosted by
Yep.
mostly Tim Dipple, with Chris Ligori weighing in a little bit.
before we get to Jeffy and his new show, Jeff Woodhead, thank you for being on. Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Well, you all mentioned all the PTE stuff, so definitely check that out. If you need a little music to listen to, though, to break up the podcasting, Mike, who my teammate and fellow champion here, as well as our high school
the
friend Ashok and our college friend Ben have put together a band. We're called the Datacorns.
Datacorns.
As you might guess, they're largely songs about being a dad, and they're up on most of the streaming services, or will be by the time you are listening to this podcast. We have a Bandcamp site, we're on Facebook, we're on socials, etc. So go check out our music. Where are the Datacorns? And yeah, it's some fun stuff.
Dad is in
Datacorns.
DAD, not dad is in data, not like data.
Yeah,
But
Dad Eye Corn.
No,
Yeah.
just think of a AI voice going Datacorns.
Yeah.
If you've listened, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and it was amazing.
that's right. Yes, there are a couple
Datacorns.
of PG
Datacorns.
episodes here.
And finally, Jeff Bim, welcome to the network.
Oh,
Tell
thank you.
everybody about your show one more time before we call it a night.
Sure thing. The show's called Draught Daze. It's spelled the dumb way. The dumbest you could spell it is how it is. And on the show, we play fantasy sports where we pick a topic and we draft teams that adhere to that topic. And then we bring them to the combine, which is the scoring section, and we duke it out to see which coach has the best team at the end. It's a lot of fun. It's very similar. If you like Boozy Bracketology, it's kind of in the same vein because we use sports as the basis to jump off, but we dig a lot into the history and the important points of the different things that we pick, because each athlete, quote unquote, that we pick for our teams has strengths and weaknesses that we talk a little bit about. We've done every episode that I've done so far has been an absolute blast to record. I get hammered drunk most of the times because my teams do generally really poorly, while I have choice paralysis, being unable to pick from my giant list of things. But it's really a good time, and I came up with the idea based on a couple of different things. The idea of the scoring is a new thing, but I really I miss it because we don't get to do it very much anymore, but I miss going to live fantasy drafts with my friends, where somebody'd say, "Oh, I take this guy," and then everybody throws beer cans at him because I wanted that guy. God damn it. Or we make fun of the guy who takes a kicker in like the third round. You know, like that's a really fun experience.
Reminds me of a PT episode we recorded where, or maybe it was Boozy, but we were doing the draft live for the network.
Yep.
And it was Boozy because Marissa was getting pissed
Yes.
because we kept like interrupting with draft picks. Like, you stole my kicker, you jackass!
But yeah, if you want to relive the excitement of stealing somebody else's pick or the anger of having somebody else steal your pick, Wednesdays starting in February, Draught Daze, spelled DRAUGHTDAZE. You could find us on all of the socials at Draught Daze, spelled the dumb way. And I hope you guys listen. It's a good time.
And if you're keeping score at home, that means that you will get fresh content from the PTE Network every day of the work week, 5 days a week. Mondays, you'll get Boozy Bracketology. Tuesdays, you'll get Verboten. Wednesdays, you'll get our brand new show, Draught Daze. Thursdays will be the Pub Trivia Experience podcast. And Fridays, you can catch me and Brittany Shaw on Frenemy Trivia. I think that about does it for all of us. You can find all that information at ptebb.com. And if you want to be on one of our shows, just head to ptebb.com/appearance requests and fill out the form, and we'll reach out to you and get you on a show. For the Pub Trivia Experience, I've been Tim.
I've been Mike.
I've been Jeremy.
I've been Jeff.
And I've also been Jeff.
And we will see you next week with more trivia.